Hi everyone, welcome to Wendy Speaks. I am your host D. First, let me just say thank you. Thank you for taking out time of your day, to be here. I know life is busy, you've got things to do, but somehow you've decided to spend some time listening to me talk today. And this means a lot to me, and I just want to say thank you. Wendy Speaks is a space for real conversations. We're going to be talking about adulthood, the parts that nobody really prepares you for. We'll be talking about work, relationship, personal growth, resilience, and how to actually build a life that makes sense instead of just reacting to whatever is happening around you. We're not going to be stating theories or trying to prove points. We are not here for motivation, even that does sound good, but it doesn't really work. We're here because life is real and it is hard, and you need someone to actually talk about it honestly. So, if you're still figuring things out, if you're still finding your footing, if you're still struggling, even if you're winning and you want to win better, then the space is for you. If you hear what resonates with you, do me a favor, like, share, follow, comment, and share it with someone that you love. Send it to that friend who needs to hear this. Post it in your group chats. You know, let's just grow together. Now let's dive into today's episode. Hello again. Welcome back to Wendy Speaks. I want to share something that has been sitting with me for a minute, and it's about the seasons of your life. I guess most of us have heard this in one way or the other. So today let's talk about it. Most of us, think about life in terms of age. You're young, or you're middle aged, or you're old. And even if that's one way to look at it, our life actually has seasons. And I'm not even talking about calendar seasons. I'm talking about the morning, the afternoon, and the night seasons of your life, of our lives. And here's one thing, not everyone is in the same season. Two people could be the same age and be in completely different seasons, because that season, the seasons aren't about when you are born. They're not really when you're about when you are born. They're about where you are in your journey. And today we're going to be breaking this down, what each season mean and what you're supposed to do in each of them. And for you to understand why knowing your season and being intentional about it changes everything. Right, so I read a book talking about this concept, the concept of man being morning, afternoon. That's M.A.N, being morning, afternoon, and nights. And it's kind of changed the way I look at things. I think one of the things that I've said this multiple times, I read things and then it changes the way, my perspective, it changes the way I see life. I think that's a good thing because I'm kind of expanding how I reason. So I read a book about this concept, and I also saw a post about it on Facebook and recently, and then it just hits me. The idea is that man or human, we are not just biological, walking beings. The thing is, as human beings, we are not just biological beings walking through time. We are time. I think I've mentioned this in previous episodes. Think about it. You are not just moving through life, you are life. You are the morning of your own existence, you are the afternoon, and you are the night of your existence. And that's wild because it means that the seasons are not just happening to you, they are within you. And understanding them is understanding yourself. So let me break it down. Your morning isn't 6 a.m. Your morning is that moment you awaken to who you truly are. It's enlightenment. It's when the fog lifts and you can finally see clearly. It's when you have a revelation about your purpose, your gift, your direction. Your morning isn't just about age. A 50-year-old man can be in their morning if they just woke up to who they are. And a 20-year-old can also be in their morning if they've already figured it out.
So morning is awareness, is discovery, it's enlightenment. Then comes afternoon. Afternoon isn't that time when the sun is hot. Well, if you look at it, then it is, but that's not the point, right? Afternoon is that season of execution. Is where you take everything you've learned in the morning and you actually do something with it. It's the period of sweat, it's the period of sacrifice, it's the period of strategic planning, it's the period of putting structure in your life. It's where you plant the seed of your morning vision and you begin to water it and you begin to watch it grow. But here's the thing about the afternoon season. Most people love the brightness of it, they love the idea of success, but then they run away from the heat. But the heat is the actual work. The heat is showing up every day when you don't feel like it. The heat is the learning, process. It's the patience, the diligence, the sacrifice. It's learning self-dependency. And a lot of us are in that afternoon season of our lives right now, and we are very uncomfortable. We are looking for, shortcuts. We're running towards the night. We are waiting for the night because we think it's going to be easier. But the night, is it really easier? I think the night is more of like a reflection. So as I mentioned earlier, morning is clarity, because it's when you wake up to who you are, it's why you are here, right? So this is what I understand about these seasons. It's your morning is your idea stage. It's that dreaming stage, it's that planning stage. But morning isn't, really enough. If you stay in your morning forever, then you will never really build anything. You just keep dreaming. Afternoon is where the actual work happens, because this is where most people quit. Because afternoon is actually hard. Trust me. I can tell. Afternoon requires you to show up, it requires you to execute, it requires you to push through discomfort. This is where the seed actually dies so it can give birth to fruit. And this is where you sweat, this is where you sacrifice. And most people can't handle the afternoon because they just want success without work. So they either give up or they start looking for night, right? Hoping for rest. But if you skip afternoon, how do you now get to have a tree that has a fruit that can, one, produce fruit for you in the night season and also give you shade, right? Night is actually inevitable. Night will come whether you like it or not, right? It's the season of reflection. It's when you look back at everything you did in your morning, everything you did in your afternoon, everything you built, everything you didn't build. And if you put the work, in during the morning, during the afternoon, then you can expect that your night is going to be joyful. If you look back at your morning and your afternoon, having put in the required work, then you're going to be proud. You'll be satisfied. But if you didn't put in the work, your night is going to be full of a whole lot of regrets. It's going to be full of questions like, why didn't I? What if I had? I could have been, The regret is heavy. There's something I read. There is something I think I read it or I heard it. I can't really remember. But he said, what if you're at your deathbed and all the skills, all the talents, all the opportunities, and the potentials that you had but never used come around you, like they come and they surround you, and individually they show you what you could have been and how your life could have been different. But you that you are on the bed, you only made use of 1/10 of what you had, right? How would that really feel? The seasons in our lives are about progression, not perfection. You don't have to get every season right, but you have to understand where you are and what you're supposed to be doing in that season. So if you're in your morning, use it to clarify, use it to dream, use it to plan. If you're in your afternoon, use it to execute, use it to build, use it to work. And if you're in your night season, use it to reflect, use it to harvest, and to pass on what you've learned. Our life has seasons, and the earlier we understand them, work with them, don't run away from the heat of the afternoon, and don't wait for night to do your reflection. Do the work now, build now, so that when night comes, you'll be at peace, right? If you're waiting for the perfect time to start your morning, to get clarity to begin, then stop waiting. Clarity comes from doing, and progress comes from moving forward. If you have to travel to a new state, if you have to start moving in a new direction, don't wait until you feel ready. You start the journey and you figure it out along the way. Thank you for listening to me today. I'll see you on our next episode.